this time of year in November, we're picking seed, and we're looking at the prairie for its uh, leftovers after uh, seed has fallen on some plants. It gives an idea of the density of a prairie. We're looking here at a berm or a high spot, and we'll walk up onto that berm to give you an idea of what a late fall prairie looks like. Here we're on a trail on top of that berm, and you're looking at Indian grass waving on the right hand side, and that's stiff-leaf goldenrod in there. Behind it is blue stem, and we'll be looking at that in a moment. Here's big blue stem. You see it's lost a lot of its seed. You're looking over the prairie from the berm, so the prairie in the distance is lower, but it's still 6 to 8 feet tall. The prairie is about 2.5 acres, and it's on a cornfield. Now you're looking towards a ditch in the distance and a forest, and we're looking through Indian grass, mainly Indian grass. And what's down below is probably Indian grass and big blue stem and some cord grass. There's a little piece of coreopsis blowing around. Here on the right hand side you don't see the top of it, but it's a dock with 10 or 12 stems, and it's higher than the Indian grass growing alongside it. It's just that tall, probably about 10 feet tall. Docks belong to the Sylvian family. This is New England aster, and it's now in mid-November, and we've had a first frost situation, and its purple flowers are in seed. So sometimes we want people not to mow this till we've collected those sorts of seeds. We're looking down the trail now, and prairie on either side. We try not to have too many of the grasses because the grasses can dominate, but people know prairie mainly for their grasses because they see it. Here we're looking at the biodiversity in the field, and it's quite considerable. There's probably about 50 species in this particular prairie. Other plants could be in there. So we're looking at a sky which is giving you fall colors, and this is a compass plant. And we're going into that biodiversity now, and we'll shortly pan up to see those 10 and sometimes 12-foot compass plants that reach into the sky. Big blue stem also, it's lost most of its seed because it's late in the season. The wind is blowing it around. The grasses are wind pollinated, so they have very big anthers, and the seed is also spread by the wind. This is the leaves of the compass plant. The compass plant leaves face north and south so the sun won't beat the water out of them. And they're also invaginated, or they lose lost a lot of their stomates, so they don't lose water easily. This is tall coreopsis, and it's a little on the aggressive side, but it has a nice white flower or yellowy flower, and it's tall. It's 6 feet tall. Stiff-leaved goldenrod, nestled in amongst the grasses. The grasses don't always express themselves until September, August, September, October. So before that you have a lot of broadleaves, and stiff-leaved goldenrod is one of those. This is rattlesnake master. Has leaves that have little projections on them that make it look like yucca. So its second name is yuccifolia, foliage like yucca. Now we're looking at quinine, which reminds us that we're looking at the biochemicals that we like to get from these sorts of plants. We're not always sure what we'll get, but in the future we need these plants just in case we need a biochemical. This is Baptisia. It's a legume, and it has pods on it that are full of nutritious seeds that the insects like to use, and you'll see as we pan in that the pods are empty at the moment. Not all of them are empty. If you're picking seed, you have to pick these seeds early or you lose them to the wildlife. Here's a few pods that haven't been broken into yet. And to the left is some Canada wild rye. This is a very good diplomat. It grows, it's an annual, not a perennial, as most of the prairie plants are perennials. And it grows very well. This is flange sunflower. There's just a lot of it. And so you have to think about how much of this seed you harvest, because it just might be too much. It's a sunflower, and a sunflower is a fairly aggressive plant. This is grey-headed coneflower leaning over a trail, and just one pod to the bottom left-hand corner is not a pod, it is a inflorescence, and it looks like a grey-headed gentleman, so it's called grey-headed coneflower. Now we're looking at up towards the berm, and this is compass plant. It was one that was lower. I could photograph it easily. That's probably a goldenrod on the right-hand side. This is a compass plant leaf looking over the trail. And the trail is about 5 feet wide. This is dock on the trail. It's very harsh at this time of the year. If you touch that leaf, it will be like a rattle. Quinine again, this time to perhaps get a little closer so that you understand the inflorescence. Some of the seeds stay on for a long time. Some of the seeds break out easily. This is a cup plant. You can see a cup there, and this belongs to the Silphium family. It's fairly aggressive and is found in vacant lots a lot. Now we're looking at a groin. A groin is a little waterfall that you create to try and slow the movement of water through a ditch. And so this is in a ditch, and on the right hand side there's a little pond, and over the front there's a little waterfall. So this is to stop the movement of fast water. Monarda or bee balm, or it's a mint with square stems, and it's very popular with bumblebees when it's in flower, so we can catch that seed. Here you're looking at the biodiversity again, and there in the background you see into the ditch where we have cordgrass. There's not a lot of cordgrass there, but that's the sort of place where cordgrass grows. Cordgrass seed takes about 10 years to grow, so you tend to get clones. Or this rosinweed. It's rosinweed because it has rosin. It's one of the ways it protects itself in drought, is to have a rosin. The leaves are opposite. Now we're back to looking at dock again. We don't always get a lot of seed from dock because there's a weevil that gets into it's a prairie weevil that gets into the head of the dock seed and drops off before it gets to be mature. Is soft sunflower. We also find it hard to get seed from because of the weevils. The prairie has 2,000 different types of insects on it, but we don't have that many, but we do have them. Here you have purple coneflower. We put purple coneflower on this ditch bank because it has 4-foot roots and helps to stabilize the soil and prevent erosion. It's also popular as a food, and this you can almost see the seeds. It's prickly to harvest. It has this Calder's root, and Calder, probably a doctor who found a biochemical in this plant that's useful, and so that's given his name to it. This again reminds us that we have variety. The tall plant is ironweed, and in front of it is a bunch of sunflowers, black-eyed Susan type sunflowers. And you see the berm in the distance, so the berm allows you to get up high and look down on the prairie and have a feeling for it. This is Dave Monk, your prairie monk, and we hope you get out there and help collect seed.